So I think this is a interesting topic right here. The Idaho State Police, which was interesting because I was just in Idaho yesterday, stated that they just pulled over 735 commercial vehicles, and this is what they targeted. So tell me if you feel that this was a good blitz, right? Because it's always supposed to be about public safety. It states here, Idaho State Police Commercial Vehicle Safety Division, statewide enforcement emphasis. Last week, ISP's commercial vehicle safety specialists conducted 735 commercial vehicle inspections across the Idaho with focused efforts along the Canadian border near Bonners Ferry and in the Lewiston area. As a result, 34 drivers and 127 vehicles were placed out of service for critical safety violations. So they were right there at the Bonners Ferry and that Canadian border. So they were targeting a lot of foreign Canadian truck drivers, right? And American drivers that were going back and forth. And so it's one of those things where, what are your true thoughts about this? You know, do you think this is a good thing? And a lot of people give state police and Department of Transportation a lot of crap about these blitz. But if they truly did their job, and they put drivers out of service for not being safe on our roads, I would say that is a good thing. You know, it states here, this targeted enforcement supports our commitment to safe travel across Idaho's highway by identifying and removing unsafe vehicles and unfit drivers from the road. What's going on, my truckers? I've been going on this travel center run with independent truck stops at best locations. And so yesterday I was in Eden, Idaho. Today I'm in Missoula, Montana. And so tomorrow we're starting it off with this 50-year anniversary that they're celebrating. And we're going to be at Muralt's Travel Plaza. And so if you have an opportunity, tomorrow I'll be there between like 10 to 5 o'clock. You know, it's at 8800 Truckstop Road, Missoula, Montana, 59808. So just here to show some love. Going to be a lot of fun. Want to interview some drivers. So it's definitely awesome, man. So appreciate all your support. What's going on, Mutha truckers? We're out here at Muralt's and we're just hanging out. I have a driver here that's been coming here for a while. How long have you been coming here to this truck stop, sir?
15 years.
So 15 years. So, you know, introduce yourself. What's your name?
My name is Randy Roth from Tremont, Minnesota.
Hey, you know, Randy, you were telling me off camera, when you take a shower, you always use number 8. What's the reason for that?
It's kind of like home away from home.
Yeah. So we got a Mutha trucker, Brian, that just wants to put out a PSA here and say, you brokers want 4 hours for free. You know, and he felt that that was very shocking. It says, today I called Blue Marlin Logistics Group, Inc. to book a load. The first thing I noticed was that the rate was $2,100 and they offered me $1,600. Of course, I said, heck no. The load needed to pick up within 90 minutes. I was empty, full of clock, and ready to go. After a brief hold, they agreed to come up to $2,000. I then asked my normal questions, what's the commodity? I was told it was grocery. I have all but stopped doing grocery due to the long, very long wait times at the docks. So I politely told the lady we needed to agree on company detention policy of 2 hours free. So then $50 is a fair rate in the industry and most brokers agree to it. He says he was absolutely shocked when she told him on the rate con states that detention pay doesn't start until 4 hours later. So overall, my truckers, what are your thoughts about this? Brian wants to put attention to the world and say that it is not right for somebody to have $250,000 worth of equipment and sit anywhere for 4 hours for free, right? Do you think that this whole thing with detention pay is just out of control and brokers are just taking advantage of owner operators? Mutha truckers, comment down below. So Mutha truckers, definitely comment down below, because if you have a PSA for drivers, I always try to do my best and read them for you. I have one right here from a driver that states, Alex, can you kindly do a segment on cat scales? and kindly let these people know that you cannot back off a cat scale or drive across one from the do not enter side. Every time I see a driver do it, I tell them you can't back off the scale or you can't drive through the scale backwards because you're throwing the weights off in the scale, making the next driver that weighs on a cat scale's ticket inaccurate. So mud truckers, stop backing on a scale. When I interviewed this driver yesterday and he got a ticket, a DOT officer looked back 8 days. And so we had actually a lot of drivers. So I'm not picking on this driver right here that says 7 days roadside, not 8.
Driving violation. Basically what I mean by that is they got me like 8 days. They give you like a span of 8 days where they can check as far back into your logs as far as 8 days. And Friday night, no, it was Thursday.
And you know what? You are correct on this. But let me read to you what they're able to do. So it says here, yes, the DOT can check more than 8 days of logs, especially when it comes to ELD data. While drivers are generally required to keep and present the previous 7 days of logs during a roadside inspection, which these drivers are 100% correct about, it says here, the DOT ELD's regulation also require carriers to retain ELD data for longer than a period of often 6 months. So if they want, they could look back up to 6 months if they really want to. So yes, in general, keep 7 days. That is true. But if they want to be a jerk, they could look back as far as 6 months with the carrier that you're with. Or if you're working with yourself, you have to keep up to 6 months. So, mud truckers, it's just one of those things where we just can't win sometimes, And so, yes, you are correct. Keep 7 days. But if they want to check, they can check.
So this is the most awesome story here.
Dalen is his name. This is Alex.
How are you doing, sir? They're celebrating 50 years here, and you have the most incredible story. And truck drivers once in a while find some love. And so what happened? What's the story behind that? How you met your wife?
I worked for a gentleman that was leasing his trucks in Beeline over here.
Yes, sir.
And I get it stuck here. I always came over here to eat.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Sandy at, in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And pretty soon she was mine.
I love it. So did you have your eyes on her the whole time?
I was here, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, I appreciate you.
What year did you say that was?
77.
77.
I appreciate you, sir. So 50 years.
We were only 2 years. We were Standard Oil still back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So 50 years of anniversary of business, and my
48 years of meeting
yeah,
wife. Yeah.
48 years of you being your wife.
I knew you were way back then.
Well, I was a punk little snot-nosed kid.
Yep.
I love it. Well,
Well,
thank you for your
I
time.
did full service on your truck out there. Pumped your fuel and bumped your tires and washed your windshield while you came in here and drank coffee and talked to her.
Yeah, we love it.
Yep. That's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. There he is. Rolling.